Hello everyone, welcome to our M365 Excel Basics video number 12. I hope you're having a wonderful day and ready to learn some skills on the topics that we will cover today. In this video, we will learn the sort and filter features in Excel, the text join formula, and flash fill. So far in this class, we have learned some useful skills, and here is a list of some of the things that we have covered in this class. We use Excel to store data, make calculations, and for data analysis. In addition to the formulas and the data analysis tools we have learned in this class, we use the sort and filter feature in Excel, the flash fill, text join formulas as useful tools to analyze data. In this class, we have learned that for us to be able to use the data analysis tools in Excel, it is very important that we have a proper data set. If you can recall, we studied proper data set in our M365 Excel Basics video number 2. We learned that a proper data set is also known as a table. We learned that proper data set has column headers or field names in the first row. Column headers at the top of each column indicates what data the column contains. A proper data set has records in each subsequent row. Each row in the proper data set is a record. Dataset must also be surrounded by empty cells all around, all worksheet column headers, which are letters, and worksheet row headers, which are numbers. We learned that a proper dataset is important because it helps to avoid repetition by having each field listed once. For example, the month field here is listed once. It enables you to easily make calculations, perform data analysis, and create formulas. Many of the tools and features in Excel require you to have a proper data set. For example, we saw when we were creating pivot tables, we are required to have a proper data set. Same thing when we are filtering, we are required to have a proper data set, among other Excel features that we have seen that require you to have a proper data set. Knowing that we need to have a proper data set for our data analysis, it is helpful for us as we dive into these new features that we are learning in this lesson. The Excel file for this video is included below the link for this video. Please download and follow along. We will start with the sort feature. Let's go to the worksheet named sort and learn how to use the sort feature in Excel. In this worksheet, we will see different examples and we will work on several examples here to understand how the sort feature in Excel works. By default, records appear in the order in which they were entered. You can use the sort feature in your data by arranging the records by one or more chosen fields. What does sorting do? Sorting organizes a proper data set or a single column alphabetically, numerically, by color, or you can do a custom list. If you sort one field or column in a proper data set, the entire proper data set is sorted so the records will remain intact. You click on one cell in the column that you would like to sort, and you use the sort feature. You can use the sort button. It is in the data tab ribbon on the sort and filter group. I'm in the home tab. I will click on the data tab right there, and you can see the sort and filter group. This is the A to Z and Z to A button sort feature. And this is also the sort that will open the sort dialog box. When we get to learn the filter, this is what we will use for our filter. If you have a mixed data, an A to Z sort would sort as shown on this right side here. So this data is not sorted. This is a mixed data values that are not sorted. But these mixed data values are sorted right here. The numbers will appear first, and then the text or words, the Boolean values which are false and true, and then the errors in the order that they occur, and then the empty cells are always sorted at the bottom, whether you're doing an A to Z sort or a Z to A sort. Now let's scroll down and we will do our first example here. In our first example here, we will sort these numerical values from smallest to largest, and then we'll also sort from largest to smallest. We will use the A to Z buttons, and we'll also use the sort dialog box. Now we need to click on any one single cell in this single column. And then right here on the sort and filter group, this is just a quick sort and it's simple and easy. The smallest to largest, it's A to Z, which is also the ascending order. So I will click A to Z and that sorts A to Z. If I want to sort from largest to smallest, I will click on the sort button here, Z to A, and that sorts our data from Z to A. Now, if you would like to sort using the sort dialog box, I will press Ctrl Z and Ctrl Z to undo that. Now, I would like to use the sort dialog box. I will click here on the sort dialog box button, and that opens the sort dialog box for us. Move it to the side. Right here on the column, you can see we have the sort by. We only have a single column there. So if I click on that arrow, we only have a single column, which is the sales. Now on the sort on, you have different options that you can sort on, and we will see this in our other examples in this worksheet. But for us here, we're doing cell values. On the order, you click on that arrow. We can either sort from smallest to largest, largest to smallest, or we can do a custom list. So for us here, we're doing smallest to largest. And you can see this box here is checked. My data has headers because our data here has a header right there, which is the sales. Now, if I click OK, we can see now that sorts our data here from smallest to largest. Now, on our second example here, where we have this text that we would like to sort, if we click on the sort button, so I'm clicking on any one single cell in this column, and if I sort A to Z, we can see it's sorting including the column header here, which is the student names. And if we do from Z to A, same thing, it's including the student names in the sorting. So we'll do Ctrl Z and Ctrl Z. So for a case like this one, where Excel doesn't determine which one is the column header, you would use the sort dialog box. So I'm clicking on any one cell right there, clicking the sort to open the sort dialog box. And on this one right here, I'm moving it to the side. You can see this column sort by, it says column L. So we need to check my data has headers, and that way the student names here, which is our column header, will not be sorted together with this list. So we are sorting the student name, we are sorting cell values, and we are sorting A to Z. So A to Z, and then we'll click OK. And now we have sorted that A to Z. And now because we have already checked the box that our column has headers, we can now come to the sort button. And if I click Z to A, you can see now it's sorting Z to A, and it's not sorting the column header here for student names. And if I do again A to Z, you can see again it's sorting A to Z, but because we already checked that our column has headers, it's not sorting the student names here, which is our column header for this single column data. Now let's scroll down to our third example here, where we have a proper data set here, and we will sort in one column, which is the hire date. And once we sort that, we will see that the entire data set will be sorted, but the records will remain intact. So the sort that we are doing right here is on the hire date, A to Z. So what I will do, I will highlight one record here so that when we sort, we can monitor and see that that record will remain intact. So I'm going to home on the font group, and then I will select the fill button, and I will select yellow. And now we'll click on any one single cell in the column that we would like to sort, and we are sorting the hire date column, and I will click A to Z on the sort button. So I'll go to data, and then on the sort and filter, I'm using the sort buttons, and I will sort A to Z. And you can see we sorted our hire date from A to Z. And we can see the record that we highlighted, it stayed intact. So when you're sorting a proper data set, your sorted records will remain intact. Now let's go to our fourth example. In this example, we have a proper data set, but we are sorting on two columns. We are sorting the salary column largest to smallest, which is Z to A, within the department column A to Z. In other words, we are sorting the salary from largest to smallest in each department. So there's two ways to sort on multiple columns. If you're using the buttons, the major sort is done last. If you're using the sort dialog box, then the major sort will be on the top. Our major sort in this example is the department because we are sorting within the department. So now I will click on any one cell because I would like to sort by buttons first. So I will click in any one cell in the salary column. And before I do that, because we would like to see that our records are staying intact once we sort, let's highlight one record here. We will do the same color that we did last time. And now let's click on any one cell in the salary column. And we will sort using the buttons. And we will sort Z to A for the salary. So go to data and then Z to A. And then let's sort the department. And for the department, we are sorting A to Z. So I'm clicking on any one cell in the department column. And I'm doing A to Z. So right here, we can see we sorted the salary Z to A, which is the largest to smallest. And we can see on this department, largest to smallest, this department, largest to smallest. And as we scroll down, we can see that department as well. And we can see largest to smallest right there. Now that's using the sort buttons. If we were to use the dialog box, I will do Control Z and Control Z. Now let's use the dialog box. We're sorting again salary, the same sort that we did here, the salary and the department. With the sort dialog box, I'm clicking on that. The major sort will be the top sort right here. The major sort is the department. So we'll select the column here, sort by department. And we are doing cell values. And the department is A to Z. And then we will add another level because we are doing multiple columns right there. Then by the salary. And the salary we are doing Z to A, cell values. And then Z to A, which is the largest to the smallest. And then we'll click OK. And we can see same thing. That's the department and the salary from the largest to the smallest. That's the department and the salary from largest to smallest. And if you scroll down as well, that's the department from largest to the smallest. Now let's scroll down to our fifth example. On this example too, we are sorting two columns. We are sorting the hire date within the department. Again, the department is the major sort. We'll sort the hire date A to Z and the department A to Z. So let's start with the hire date because we are doing the buttons. Our major sort is the department. So we're starting with the hire date. And the hire date we're doing A to Z. And then let's do the department A to Z. And we can see now we have the department sorted there and the hire date A to Z. We have that department, the hire date A to Z. We have this department as well, hire date A to Z. Now let's scroll down to our sixth example, example number 6. And on this one, we are sorting by color. Now this is already converted to an Excel table. To sort by color, we can click on any of these filter arrows right there. Click on the filter arrows right there and then sort by color, and we will do the custom sort. And when you do that, we can see it opens the sort dialog box right there, and we can do our sorting right there. So the other way that you can do that is to select on any single cell inside the data set and then click on the sort dialog box button right there, and it opens the sort dialog box again right there. So now we are sorting by color. In the dialog box, we will choose the column that we want to sort by. So let's choose department. And then on the sort on, we will choose cell color. And now we have the order here, and we can choose which color we would like to start with. So I will start with purple. That should be on the top. And then I'm adding another level. And I will sort also department, same column. I'm sorting color, cell color. And then the next color will be blue. And then add another level for another color. Same department, cell color. This time I'll do green. And then add level, department, select cell color. And we will do the orange. That's the only one left right there. So we will have this on top, followed by that color, followed by that color, followed by that color. And then these other colors that are not highlighted here or are not included here will be at the bottom. So we'll click OK. And you can see now that has sorted by color. Now let's go to our 7th example right here. On this example, we will sort our department field by our custom lists. So we'll click on any one cell in this table and then click on the sort to open the sort dialog box. We'll sort by department and then we will select a custom list. So right here, when we open the custom list dialog box, we will create a new list. So we will list our entries here, and we will start with the administration. Press enter to separate our list of entries. Second one will be research and development. And then enter human resources, enter sales and marketing, and then next will be the customer services, and then finance. Now this is a new list that we are creating, so I will select add to add that to our custom lists. And you need to note that anytime you create a custom list, it will remain part of your Excel settings and will be available to all your other workbooks. If you would like to remove the custom list, you will come back here to the custom list dialog box, and then you will select the custom list that you would like to remove. And then once it's selected, you click delete to delete it, and then you click OK to delete it from the custom list. So for us here, we are creating our custom list. So we will click OK to create one. Now, once we click OK here, it should sort our department based on the custom list that we have specified. So I will go ahead and click OK. And now we can see we have done a custom list for our department field. Now next we will go to our filter worksheet where we will learn how to filter data. So click on the filter worksheet. The filter feature in Excel is one of the data analysis tools. And what filter does, it helps you to show the data that you want and it hides the rest. So it allows you to hide records that don't match your criteria, and you're displaying only the records that you specify you want to display. In this worksheet, we have different examples of the filter that we will work on. And to filter our data, we will click on the filter button right here. So I'm in the data tab on my ribbon. I'm clicking on any one cell in my data, And if I click on that button, we see we don't have the filter options right here in this data. So again, if I click on the filter, we can see that we have the filter options applied on each of these column or field names right there. Now to apply the filter icons right here, you need to select on any one cell in your table. But if you would like to clear your filters, you can be in any cell and then click on the filter button right there and the filters will be gone. But to apply back the filters on your data, if you're not inside the data in any one cell here, and if you click the filter button, it won't apply the filters for you. I'll click OK. And now let's click back on our data on any one cell and then click again on the filter button. And you can see now we have the filter option on our table. So the first example that we will do here, we have 7 different examples. The first one that we will do is select Tiana from a unique list of items to show only Tiana records, and then we will copy and paste to a new worksheet. So since we have the filter option here, these filter drop down arrows, they help to show a unique list of items in this field. So these filters also allows us to filter in different ways. So if I click on our sales rep here, since we want to do our first example, and I will click on that filter, and now you can see it gives me the option to filter our data. So for us here, the first example, we are selecting Tiana. So we will click that to uncheck all of them. And then we will click on Tiana because that's the only sales rep that we would like to filter. And then once we click OK, you can see now we only showing the records for Tiana and all the other records are hidden. Now we would like to copy and paste these records in a new worksheet. I will use my keyboard shortcut, Control Asterisk, to select the entire data. So if you're using your laptop, press Control Shift 8. And then we'll do Control C to copy our data. We're copying this data in a new worksheet. So I will click on the plus symbol here to add a new worksheet. And now I have a new worksheet added here. I can paste my data right here. I can select where I would like to paste my data. And I'm pasting my data in cell A3. Control V to paste my data. And I can see I pasted my data right there. And now I will use this paste option icon right there. And I will select Keep Source Column Widths. That way, I'm keeping the same source column width as I had on our main filter table. So if I Control Shift down arrow, we can see we only have records for Tiana here. Control Shift up arrow, we only have records for Tiana. So that's our first example. We need to make sure that we are naming this worksheet before we go back to do our next example. So I will double click on this sheet and I will name this Tiana Records. And enter. Now let's go to the filter worksheet. And now we can see we still have our dancing ants here because we copied this data. I will escape to get out the copying mode. And then I would like to clear my filters. So to clear my filters, there's different ways that we can do that. I can click on this filter arrow or this filter icon right there. And you can see right here we have an option to clear filters. We can also click here and check all these sales rep. I will cancel that. The other way that we can do, we can clear the filters from here. So I will click Clear Filters, and now you can see we cleared all the filters. Now we will do our second example, and on this example, we want to filter records showing this week only. So again, this week is on the dates column. So I'm using that arrow on the dates column. And then I will select the date filters. And you can see right here we have different options that we can select from. So I will select this week. And we can see we are only filtering the data for this week. See, we're only filtering the data for this week. So if you would like to copy and paste this data into a new worksheet, make sure you select all of it, Control Asterisk or Control Shift 8 if you're using your laptop, and then Control C and Control V to paste it to your new location. So I will not paste this. What I will do, I will clear these filters. So I will click on that arrow, and then I will use this button right here, this option, to clear the filters. And I have cleared those filters. The next example that I would like to show you, we would like to do a text filter to show only records where the sales rep name starts with the letter M. So that's the sales rep field. We'll click on that arrow, and then we will select text filters, and then we're selecting begins with, and then we want the ones that begin with letter M. So I will type M there, and then I will click OK. And now we can see we're only showing records for the sales rep that begin with letter M. And in our case, it's only Miles and Mason. So we'll clear the filters here. So I can either click here and clear the filters there. Again, I can also clear the filters from there. Now let's do our fourth example. This one, we're filtering the numbers to show the top 7 sales record. So that means we're going to the sales column, and I will click on that filter arrow. And now, because we want to show the top 7, we cannot select these numbers right here, but we will do the number filters. So we will click on that arrow, and we will select top 10, but we do not want to show top 10. We want to show top 7. So we will edit this. We can use these arrows to edit, or we can just type a 7 there. And then we click OK. And now we are only showing the top 7 records. So again, if you're filtering your data and you would like to use this data in a different scenario, you can copy and paste this data in a different worksheet. Now for us, we're not using this data after. We just want to see different examples on how to filter our data. Now we'll clear these filters, and we will do the next example where we are creating an OR logical test to show records for sales rep, Cinderella, or Miles. So that's the sales rep. I will click on the filter arrow right there. I will click to uncheck that box to uncheck all of the sales rep. And our logical test will be Cinderella or Miles. So we'll only show the records for these 2 sales rep. And I will click OK. And we can see we are showing the records only for Cinderella and Miles. And as I scroll down, we can see we only have Cinderella and Miles records right there. Now our 6th example, we're doing an AND logical test to show records for Tiana, and the product is LOL surprise. So let's clear these filters first. I will clear right there. And now we're doing the sales rep and the product. So I will do the sales rep first, and it doesn't matter which order you follow. I'll do the sales rep, and this time we're doing Tiana. And I will click OK. And then this product has to be LOL surprise. So on the product field, click on that arrow, and then click to uncheck the fields, and then select LOL surprise only, and then click OK. So now we're only showing records where the product is LOL surprise and the sales rep is Tiana. And as I scroll down, you can see we only have LOL surprise and Tiana. We don't have any records for any other product or any other sales rep. Now, our seventh example here, we are creating a logical test to show records between October 1st and October 31st. So that's the dates field. We'll clear my filters first. So click there to clear my filters. And now let's do our last example on this worksheet. On the date field, click on the filter arrow, and then date filters, we're selecting between. We want to show the dates between 10/1/2024. So I will either type here or use the calendar or use the arrow. So I will use the calendar. I think it's much easier using the calendar. And I will do 10/1/2024 and use the calendar again there. This will be 10/31/2024. So we will only filter the records that are in between these two dates. Now, once I click OK, we can see we only have records for October showing right there. So if you can look at the date column, we only have records for October that are showing in our filtered data. So that's the way you will do different types of filters. So again, if you would like to filter and copy and paste this data in a new worksheet, that's the way you will do it. And then you will select the data that you want to copy, Control-C to copy the data, and then Control-V to paste your data in your chosen location. Now let's clear the filters. And now let's go to our next example, which is the text join formula that we will work on. So click on the text join worksheet. In this worksheet, we will learn how to use the text formulas to join text. Now, this is a common task when you're dealing with data. The company database may provide you with data that is in two different cells, or maybe a data that is combined in one cell and you would like to separate them or you would like to join them. For example, you may have data when you download that has the name joined together, probably the first name and the last name, or it can be the last name and the first name joined together, and you would like to separate the names. Or maybe your data is first name separately and last name separately, and you would like to join the names. So we will learn how to do that, and there's a formula to do that. We will start on our first example here. We have 4 different examples that we will see how to join the text using the formula. So on this first example, we want the product code here, but we want to join it with the item number and then the product code. So we'll start our formula with equals. And then because we want to type in the item number, we will have to put the item number in double quotes. So I will type that in double quotes because this is a text. A text in our formula has to be in double quotes. And then I'll type the item number, put a space, and then put another space, and then double quotes. Now, I would like to join this with the product code, and to join this with my cell reference, I have to use the ampersand. So I will type in the ampersand there. And now I will use my mouse to select the cell reference for the product code right there. And then I will press Control Enter to remain in the same cell. And we can see now we have the product and the item number. So it's item number and the product code. So what I will do, I will just double click and copy this down. And if I come to the last cell and F2 to verify my formula, we can see it's the item number and the product code right there. I'll press Escape. Now let's do our second example right here. On our second example, we want to join the first name and the last name in one cell. And then we will join the last name and then the first name in this cell. So we use a formula to do that as well. I'm in cell D28 and I'll start my formula with equals, and my cell reference here will be B28, and because I want to join the first and the last name, I'll have to use the ampersand. I need a space in between, so space is a character. I'll do the double quotes, space, and then double quotes, and then I'll do another ampersand and join with the last name. And I have the first name and the last name. Now press Ctrl Enter, and we can see now we have the first name and the last name, and I will copy this down right there. And if I come to the last cell, F2, we're joining the first name and the last name right there. Now let's do the same thing here, but we'll start with the last name. So we'll do the same thing, equals, the last name now comes first. We're using the ampersand to join, and then the double quotes because we need a space and a comma. So we'll put a comma, and then space, and then the double quotes, and then the ampersand again to join that. And we'll select the cell reference for the first name, Control Enter, and now we can see we have the last name, comma, and the first name. And I will copy this down, come to the last cell, F2, our formula is working correctly. Now let's scroll down, and on this one, we would like to extract state abbreviation, but here we are using the right function. So our formula here, we will put a formula here that will only extract these two characters that are on the right, and that's why we're using the right function. So I'm in cell C43, and I'll type equals right, and you can see it returns the specified number of characters from the end of a text string. So in our case, our pattern is 2 characters, so we will return 2 characters. Tab to select that. That's the text, and then we'll put a comma. We only need 2 characters, so the number of characters will be 2. And now we can close our formula. Control Enter. And now you can see we are only extracting the state abbreviation. I will double click to copy that all the way down. Come to the last cell, F2. My formula has the correct cell references. Now let's do the example number 4 on this worksheet. Our goal here is to extract the number using the left function. So our pattern here, we need to count how many characters we have on the left side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means when we use the left function, we are extracting 6 characters for the product code. I'm in cell C59, and I'll do equals left, and you can see it returns the specified number of characters from the start of a text string. So I'll tap to select that. That is our text. We need 6 characters, so I'll type 6, and it's okay because this one we're not violating Excel golden rule. It's gonna be always 6 characters for our product code. And now I will close my formula, Control Enter, and we can see we only extracted the product code for this product code and name, and I will copy my formula down. Always I like going to the last cell, F2, and verify that my formula is working correctly with the correct cell reference. I'll press Escape. So that's how you will do your text join, extract any abbreviation or the product code, but you have to understand what your pattern is if you're extracting. Now let's go to the flash fill worksheet, and we will see the difference between the text join and the flash fill. On this flash fill worksheet, we will do about the same examples that we did on the text join worksheet. So with the flash fill, it's a fast way to clean your data. You use that to convert unuseful data and make it useful. The difference between using the flash fill and the text join. You will use the flash fill when it is a one-time data cleaning task, when you know the pattern of your data and you can provide enough examples for the flash fill to understand what you want to do. You will use the formula, which is the text join, when you want your data or solution to update when the source data changes. Because with the text formula, you can add new data and then your formulas will update as you add new data. With the flash fill, if you add new data, your flash fill that you have done will not update because it is not a formula. Now let's do our first example on this worksheet, which is example 1 here. Cell D15, we would like to have item and the code. So we need to enter the first 7 characters and then we will enter the product code and we will give a couple of examples here and then Excel will understand the pattern and it will fill for us. So I'll type item and then I'll give another example. And you can see immediately I type the second example right there. Excel understands the patterns and it is asking me if I would like to flash fill. I'll just press enter and I flash fill all the records that I want in there. Now let's do the second one here. We want the first and the last name from our data that is right here. So we will do the first name and the last name. So I will type the first name and the last name. And immediately I type the second name. The pattern is there. I don't even have to use the keyboard shortcut, or the keyboard shortcut to flash fill is Control-E. I don't even have to do that because immediately I give the second example. Excel understands the pattern and I just press enter. Now, before I go on to do the flash fill here, if you would like to use the flash fill button after you type your examples, this is the flash fill button right there. It is in the data, on the data tools. Flash fill button is right there. And you can see the Control-E is the keyboard shortcut for that. Now let's go back here and let's give our first few examples for last and first name. Immediately I start typing the second name, the pattern comes up and all I do is just enter. Now let's do that example here. Here we have the names that have middle initials or middle names, and we only want the first and last name, but we do not want the middle initials or the middle names. So I will give the pattern. And immediately I do that, you can see when I'm starting to type the second name, the pattern comes up there and all I do is just press enter and it autofills all that for me. Let's do the next example here. We're starting with the last name and put a comma, space, and then the first name. Immediately I start typing the second name there. The pattern appears and all I do is press enter. So this is a quick and easy way to clean your data, but it's only if you want a one-time data that you're cleaning. Now let's do the fourth example here. We want to extract the state abbreviation. So I'll just type the state abbreviation, TX, MI. Immediately I type M. Excel understands the pattern and I just press enter. And I'll do the same thing here. All I want here is the product code. So I'll do the RHD213. Then enter, go to the second one, SA. Immediately I type SA, the pattern appears, and I didn't even have to use the keyboard shortcut. The pattern appears and all I do is enter. So that's the way you would use the flash fill. And again, flash fill is a fast and easy way to clean your data, but it's only if you're using your data for just one-time use. That is it for this video, where we have learned how to sort, to filter, the text join formula, and the flash fill. It is bye for now. Thank you, and I will see you in our next video. Bye-bye.